Deuce, how are you? If you've been with me for a while, you will know exactly who and what this is going to. And if you know it's not going to you, then you know you get none but love. But if you are aware that this is for you, from the bottom of my heart, what it do? All joking aside, how you doing? Truly, I do hope wherever you find yourself through this transitional stage within mankind's evolution, I hope all is well with you. The battle is indeed challenging. The battle of returning to self is indeed challenging. Battling, going up against your shadow, it ain't easy to face yourself in the mirror, to accept things about yourself, things about the reality you find yourself in, things about the people that you loved dearly. To behold the truth of them things, to behold the truth of those realities, it's disheartening. It's painful to a certain degree. Many are called, few are chosen. And by the few that are chosen, the few are just those that are strong enough to peel back the veil of illusion that have long diluted their vision, to see the truth that lies before them, and not running from it, not covering their eyes anymore, but looking at it, facing it, and accepting it, and not willing to brush it under the rug any longer, but now willing to do something about it. Those few are brothers, my divine sisters that have chosen to remain on this path. Shout out to you. We out here, moving silently, but yet making hella noise. Never speaking, but yet everything is said within that silence. Peace and blessings to all of y'all. Unique, the Godfather of Consciousness, coming at you again with another message, another thought-provoking insight. We all know this, to simply spark this wonderful machine that is your mind to do what it does best. Think critically. You do not have to agree with me. And you know this is never the case. As I said, I don't need no yes man. I need niggas. I need people, human beings that are able to arrive at their own conclusion, utilizing all the data that they have gathered. Not just listening to something and saying, yes, that is true. No, do your own research. And so with all that said, brothers and sisters, this message today is provided in the hopes of helping you perceive the truth that you have long ignored. For the ones that are, playing hopscotch, still jumping in and out of the reality they are faced by, the truth that they're being faced by, the truth that is being delivered from all areas or all corners of the earth. This is for you to finally take a stand, because ain't no middle in this battle. It's either you're all in or you're out. It's either you choose to be the divine child that you is, or you're a puppet of the system. It's either you choose to be a free, sovereign being expressing itself through the spirit, or a slave, giving away your power and your divinity to the system. And this message is to bring you clarity so that you may make that choice effortlessly. And so that said, here it is, brothers and sisters. Within this current moment of time, this era that is overflowing with information, remember that. This era that is overflowing with information, this message is going to come back to you. That's why I want you to hold on to that overflow of information. Within this time or this era of information overflow, we live in a man's own mind is wide open to anyone with the right idea. Let me repeat that. We live in a time when a man's own mind is open to anyone with the right idea. Despite this universally known fact, there are still plenty of people wanting to allow themselves to be deceived and hurt by other human beings. Touch on some few things. An era overflowing with information. In this era, a man's mind is open to just about anyone that has the right idea. Man, beholding this fact, he still allows himself to be deceived and hurt by others. Brief summarization now. Let's tear that up. Brothers and sisters, if you're not yet aware of this, creation is a beautiful thing. The ability to create is the God-given gift that has been bestowed upon every man, woman, and child walking this earth. And how do I know this? You may be asking. Well, how can I prove this? Well, here's the proof. Every man, woman, and child has one thing when it comes to creating. And that one thing is what? The ability to think. We as human beings, we have this wonderful ability to do what our Creator does. Think. And by thinking, creates. And how does every act of creation begins? With an idea. True or false? Within your reality, everything that you see, did it not start in the mind? Did it not start with an idea? And with that thought, and with that idea, and the burning desire and passion to want to take from the ether that idea and manifest it in creation itself, is that not how creation is birthed? As I've said, every man, woman, and child walking this earth has that ability, but not many use it. Well, actually, we all use it, but most time, those that are unconsciously using it do not get what they want. Instead, operating off of pure unconscious creating, you getting things that you do not want. You thinking thoughts. You are open to ideas that you do not want to create within the reality. But yet you're still this creating machine. And so all that said, now that you're aware that everything within creation starts with a thought, it starts with an idea. What I've stated, we live in a time when a man's own mind is wide open to anyone with the right idea. Can you now accept the reality that you have been mind fucked? Or better yet, you have allowed your mind to be open to another that had the right idea. The idea may have not have been right for you, because if it was, you will be genuinely content. You will be genuinely happy. You will be genuinely authentic in your expression of that idea. Because the idea was not yours, because your mind was open to their idea, you're now open to accepting deception and hurt from this brilliant idea of this individual. There are infinite ideas. In fact, this ocean that is consciousness is nothing but ideas. Every person, place, and or thing is an idea. In fact, in the great mind that is divinity, everything is a thought. The Godfather, as he sits before you in this moment, the Godfather is aware that he is but a thought in the great mind that is divinity. And you, the viewer, you are but a thought. At least this is the Godfather's belief. You are but a thought in the great mind that is divinity. And that great mind has placed within you a piece of its spark to use its creative ingenuity to create. This great mind, it inspires you by giving you ideas as it gives everybody else within the creation ideas. And what do these great minds, what do these little minds do? They go about the reality and sell their ideas to the collective. And the mind, when a man's own mind is wide open to the right idea, when that man come across that right idea that is being sold, he buys it and runs with it. Alluding to the infinite ideas that I just spoke of, that is the great waters of consciousness. You have bought ideas that are not serving your highest good any longer. At some point, yes, some ideas did serve you, but you exist in a universe that consists of nothing but change. The one fact that this universe consists of is change. Is inevitable. However, realizing this truth, you still cling to ideas that no longer serves you. Primarily what I'm speaking of, the idea that is religious beliefs, all of them. All of them. The goal is not to change your mind on whatever it is you believe. No, don't do that. If whatever the fuck it is you believe in works for you, keep it. Keep believing it. But here's where I come in. If these ideas that you bought, your family bought, your mother bought, your mother's bought, their mother bought, and so on and so forth, and now you have bought it, if they're working for you, keep it. Now, if it is not working for you, as I was saying, there's where I come. If they're not working for you because now you realize the constant fact of creation is change, and you're willing to now modify that idea, or you're willing to let go of that idea, I offer you a new idea. Because just like everything else within creation, what I speak about is an idea. And because a man's mind is open to the right idea, for those that are in agreement with what the unique, the Godfather of consciousness is about, they have bought the idea. That is, you're the creator of your life. The spark of divinity exists within you. The spark of divinity is you. The spark of divinity expresses itself through you. You are the co-creator of your reality. What you think, you create. Where your attention goes, you expand and create upon. The message I posted up not long ago about information controlling everything within war. What information have you discovered that you're focusing on that is limiting you? Are you the general of your life, or are you a pawn on the battlefield of another general's? Everything that I offer is but another dimension of information, a dimension in which where you have the power. You no longer need to go to another to speak with the power or get this power of creation. My idea is that you are the power. You need nothing and no one to create a life of prosperity, a life of health, a life of authentic self-expression, a life of belief in self. A life that you are the foundation in which you have long needed, the love that you have long needed, the trust, the friendship, everything you have ever needed has always been you yourself. But because you thought you could find these in others, you chose to now put yourself in positions where you could be harmed emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and for some, physically. Because again, you thinking you need this individual to make you happy, you tolerated them. You settled with them, even though they did things and said things that was not right. You knew it was not right. You knew it wasn't good for your soul and your spirit to be around this individual, but because you felt you needed them, you stayed. There are places that you knew you shouldn't have been, but because you felt you needed that space for whatever the reason, platonic reasons or romantic reason, you stayed. Always going outside of yourself to find peace, to find happiness, to find love. Never once considering that everything you needed was within yourself. You'll be honest with yourself. right now in this moment? How many of y'all out there are currently find yourselves in positions where you know you are not genuinely happy, where you know your needs are not generally being met, where you know you're being taken advantage of, where you know you're being manipulated, where you know you're being accused of things that you're not doing, but yet you still stay there, convinced that this place, this person, this thing is the root of happiness, is the root of love, is the root of authentic expression, is the root of truth, is the root of honesty. How many of you are still there? How many of you are still sitting around human beings that are causing you harm mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, but yet you're still there with them? This idea that I present to you is to set you free from all of that. The fear of dependency on another to bring you joy, to bring you peace, to bring you happiness. That was an idea that somebody sold to you, and we all bought it. I too am guilty of that because I bought into that idea as part of the whole matrix programming. The idea that you need other people to make you happy. You cannot be happy alone with yourself. In fact, if you are alone with yourself, that means something is wrong with you. If you could find joy and comfort and peace by yourself, that means something is wrong with you. That means you cannot fit into society. That means you're an outcast of society. That means mentally and socially you are unbalanced and unstable. So because you're alone, something must be wrong with you. And a lot of you, because y'all fear this chastisement, y'all fear the opinions of others, you contently stay in relationships, in careers, amongst people, places, and things that are destroying your spirit, that are destroying your emotional state, that are destroying your mind. And while with these individuals, day after day, they are still selling you ideas. For some of you, you will come across somebody who is day after day planting within you the idea that you are not good enough, planting within you the idea that you are a failure, planting within you the idea that you cannot amount to nothing without them. Again, your mind is open to anyone with the right idea. Because you've been beaten down for so long, those wrong ideas have now become the right ideas for you. That said, this quote comes up. One of these fuck niggas out here said this shit. This nigga said, when you repeat a lie time and time and time and time again, that lie becomes true. The reason why I bring this up is this. Whatever consciousness you constantly intake, you again amplify it. And by amplifying it, well, what I mean is this: whatever you intake, it becomes true for you. Have you noticed that? I'm gonna use let's use this ideology right here. Whatever you do every day, you become good at it. So Stick with that. If each and every day you're in an environment where somebody is constantly talking down to you, disrespecting you, taking advantage of you, manipulating you, you become good at taking that in. You become good at now accepting their lie as true in your reality. You become good at accepting the wrong idea as the right idea in your reality. Because everything you do every day, in fact, whatever you focus on most, you become. They say what a man spends his time thinking about is what he is. If you spend your days allowing your mind to be open to anyone with the right idea, guess what? You're but a vessel that is just open to just about any and everything. My goal, my ultimate goal, brothers and sisters, is to get you in the driver's seat and the position within your life wherein you understand just how powerful you are and just how much others have tried to rob you of that, rob you of that power. To understand that everybody within the collective is selling you an idea. And for you to choose wisely which idea you buy. Because whatever idea you buy and you allow to digest in your subconscious, you are going to create within your reality. Religion sold you the idea of hell. And I don't know the other hells for the other religions that are created, because each of them, they have their torment space. But the point is, they sold you this idea of hell, a place that you go when you die, and you bought it. We all bought that shit because we fear our soul going to a place where we're eternally punished. But then, as you begin to think rationally and realize this, at least what I concluded when I began to use my mind to ponder on this, it's like, okay, I have an all-knowing God who knows everything before it happens. This motherfucker created me knowing everything that I was to do before he even created me. Created me, then placed me in a reality where temptations surrounds me every corner. Everywhere I turn, temptation here, temptation here. But then this creator is bold enough to tell me, even though you're surrounded by temptation within every moment, if you succumb to any of these temptations, you're going to be punished eternally. Your soul is going to be punished. And so I'm sitting out here contemplating on this thought. This motherfucker created me knowing that I'm going to make mistakes. And if I make mistakes, I'm going to be punished. What the fuck kind of nigga is this? So a reasoning mind is going to say, well, nigga, why the fuck did you create me? You could have just left me in the great unknown. You ain't have to give me no life, knowing exactly that I was going to break your rules. So it's either you get pleasure from watching your creation suffer, or something is wrong. Or there is a lie within this teaching. And I arrived at that where it's like, yeah, this is bullshit. How the fuck can you create somebody and you know exactly what they're going to do? And by you creating them, it's either you know this nigga going to make a mistake and he's ultimately going to be punished, but yet I'm going to still create him and sit back and watch him suffer and then consider myself an all-knowing, almighty God. Nigga, fuck you. And then this nigga is in need of his creation to worship him or her, this deity now. It's like, this is ridiculous. Why the fuck would God need anybody to worship him or her or it? This shit don't make no sense. If you're a deity, all knowing, all powerful, why you need your ego stroked? Why do you need anybody to pay you any kind of attention? See, when you begin to think rationally, you begin to see the right idea that was once right now becoming a wrong idea. That was an idea somebody sold. I bought it. But as I grew up and beholding the times of change that was revealing itself to me, this once right idea is no longer serving me. And with more wisdom and knowledge that was accumulated through trial and error, through dealing with this person, that person, reading this book, reading that book, listening to this podcast and that podcast. Again, every one of them suggesting different ideas. Being in the position of the driver, positioning myself in the driver's seat, no longer sitting in the background, operating from the unconscious state. I now begin to choose what I felt was the right idea, no longer just opening my mind to just about anyone with an idea. Because, as I've proven, where was that? Despite this universally known fact, there are still plenty of people wanting to allow themselves and their consciousness to be deceived and hurt by other human beings. There are some ideas out here that are harmful to your health, your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, your physical health. There are a lot of ideas out here that are harmful to your well-being. But until you arrive at the point where you realize and accept the fact that we live in a time when a man's own mind is wide open to anyone with an idea. And now becoming vigilant in which idea you place your attention upon, because you know whatever your attention goes, you create. You will continue to be at the mercy of every idea, anyone with an idea. You will continue to unconsciously create what anybody wants you to create because you're giving them your attention. You're giving them your time. You're giving them your energy. Attention, time, energy, very important. What do you spend your days listening to?